What would you do if, in a single night, you lost everything you had ever worked for? The marketplace buzzed with life, women balancing baskets on their heads, merchants shouting prices, children chasing one another barefoot. I stood by my wooden stall, my heart pounding as the village town crier approached me. He handed me a letter sealed in red wax. "You've been evicted from your stall," he announced coldly. "The debts are too much." I sank to my knees. My hands trembled as I crumpled the letter. The whispers from the crowd stung like thorns. Poor Kofi. He had it all. Now look at him. My stall, the symbol of my pride and livelihood, was dismantled before my eyes. That night, I sat outside my one-room hut, which was also at risk of being taken. The stars blinked indifferently above me as my stomach growled. I felt the weight of failure pressing on my chest like a boulder. Nights were the hardest. The cold bit through my thin blanket, and the darkness whispered my fears back to me. "You're finished. You'll never rise again." Even the crows stopped perching on my roof. They knew a defeated man when they saw one. Each day, I wandered through the village, my feet dusty and blistered. My former friends avoided my eyes. I couldn't blame them. No one wanted to be associated with a man whose luck had turned sour. One evening, as I sat by the riverbank, a familiar voice startled me. "Kofi?" It was Amma, the village seamstress. "You can't keep sitting here like this," she said, her voice gentle but firm. "What else can I do, Amma? I've lost everything." "You've lost a stall, not your hands, not your mind." Her words lingered like the scent of wildflowers. Amma's words planted a seed in my mind. That night, I couldn't sleep. What if she's right? I whispered to myself. The next morning, I decided to visit the wise elder, Nana Badu. His hut was at the edge of the village, surrounded by ancient baobab trees. "Nana," I said, bowing respectfully. "I've come for wisdom." He looked at me with eyes that seemed to hold the secrets of the universe. "Ah, Kofi. Even the river changes its path when blocked by a stone." "What is your stone?" "My failure," I admitted. "Then it's time to carve a new path." I decided to start small. I borrowed a few cassava roots from a kind neighbor and made a simple stew to sell by the roadside. The first day, I sold nothing. The second day, a single traveler bought a bowl. On the third day, rain poured relentlessly, turning the red earth to mud. I wanted to give up. As I packed up my things, an old man approached. "Do you still have stew?" he asked. "Yes," I muttered. He tasted it and nodded. "You have a gift, young man." His words lit a fire in my chest. Business was picking up, but not without challenges. One day, a rival vendor confronted me. "This is my spot," he growled. "I didn't see your name on it," I shot back, though my voice wavered. Before I knew it, we were in a heated argument. The villagers gathered, their eyes wide with anticipation. "Enough." Nana Badu's voice boomed. "Kofi, remember the river? Flow around the obstacle." I moved my stall to a quieter corner. At first, it felt like a defeat, but soon, customers followed me. One evening, a wealthy merchant stopped by my stall. "This is the best stew I've ever tasted," he declared. "Would you be willing to supply my household regularly?" My heart raced. "Yes, sir. Absolutely." That single contract changed everything. Soon, I was supplying multiple households and even the village elders. With my earnings, I rebuilt my stall, bigger and better than before. The same villagers who had once whispered about my downfall now greeted me with smiles. Amma visited one afternoon. "I told you, Kofi. You still had your hands and your mind." I grinned. "And your words?" "I owe you, Amma." Just when I thought life was perfect, disaster struck. A fire broke out in the market, consuming my new stall. I stood amidst the ashes, disbelief numbing my senses. Not again, I whispered. But this time was different. I had the strength to rebuild. The village rallied behind me, offering materials and support. As I rebuilt my stall, I realized something profound. Failure is not the end, I told Amma. It's the beginning of wisdom. She smiled. Now you're starting to sound like Nana Badu. Years later, I became the owner of the largest eatery in the village. Nana Badu's words stayed with me, even the river changes its path when blocked by a stone. Moral lesson, never let failure define you. It's just a stone in your path, waiting for you to carve a new way around it. What stones are blocking your path today? Share with us in the comments so we could help you carve a new way. For more self-improvement and personal finance story, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications so you won't miss out on our upcoming videos.